Hello and welcome to Neo Psychology. Me, your teacher, Mr. Neo, the channel where I teach online psychology lessons to my wonderful students. Today we're continuing with the attachment unit and we're looking at Lesson 5, Animal Studies, Harlow, 1959. Let's get started, shall we? Here's our starter. You have two lovely friends. Every time you meet, James gives you a biscuit and Tom gives you a hug. Which friend do you think you will build more of an attachment with and why? The one that gives you a biscuit or the one that gives you a hug? What do you reckon? Have a little think. Right, let's have a look. Here are our learning objectives for today. Show comprehension and apply knowledge of Harlow's research in 1959. Lesson objective 2, identify and analyze maternally deprived monkeys as adults. And then learning objective 3, to be able to discuss and evaluate Harlow's 1959 research. Let's get started on lesson objective 1. Harry Harlow carried out perhaps the most important animal research in terms of informing our understanding of attachment. Harlow worked with rhesus monkeys, which are much more similar to humans than last lesson when we looked at Lorenz's research with grey lag geese. Right, Harlow. Do I need to remember the name, the date? Yes, again, Harlow 1959. You need to remember this one. It's a key piece of research. Here was the aim. Harry Harlow wanted to research why babies create attachments to their mothers. So Harlow took infant rhesus monkeys away from their mothers and placed them in a cage with two wire substitute mothers. One with a feeding bottle and one wrapped in soft cloth. A harsh wire mother and a soft cloth mother. Okay, it's already unethical. Taking an infant baby monkey away from its parent and putting it in a cage with two fake wire mothers and one cloth mother is not ideal, but there we go. Here's the procedure. 16 baby monkeys were taken from their mothers from birth and put into individual cages. Which mother do you think the baby rhesus monkeys preferred and became more attached to? The mother that gave them comfort or the other mother that provided them with food? Which do you reckon is the bigger determining factor? Okay. It was found that the baby monkey cuddled the soft object in preference to the wire one and sought comfort from the cloth one when frightened, regardless of which dispensed milk. They preferred the cloth mother, not the wire mother. Even though the wire mother provided food and milk, they preferred the cloth mother. This showed that contact comfort was of more importance to the monkeys than food when it came to attachment behavior. And that is crazy, right? If that doesn't interest you, you're dead inside, okay? Most people believed, well, you would obviously form an attachment to the thing that's actually giving you food, the thing that's actually going to help your survival, right? You need food to survive. However, what they found was these monkeys, they attached to the cloth mother, the one that provided them with contact comfort, almost showing actually, do you know what? People didn't appreciate that contact comfort was really important and potentially of more importance than food when it came to attachment. Rhesus monkeys have an innate, unlearned need for contact comfort, suggesting that attachment is to do more with security and comfort than it is to do with food. Remember, innate means unlearned. It's a natural. So these rhesus monkeys, they have an innate need for contact comfort, to cling, to secure, to have that security, to feel comforted, which food cannot do. contact comfort is associated with lower levels of stress and a willingness to explore, indicating emotional security. Those that were provided with that contact comfort, that soft mother, they were more willing to explore the surroundings of the cage, and this showed that they were more emotionally secure. Watch this video footage of Harlow's research with rhesus monkeys. Is it okay to test on animals? Is it okay to do animal research? Are some animals more okay to test on than others? If so, why? If you could change the research in any way, what would you do? Let's have a look at this.
Newborn rhesus monkeys will grow up not in accordance with nature, but in the controlled atmosphere of a laboratory, where all the psychological influences of childhood can be duplicated. In a classic continuing study, infant monkeys are removed from the mother at birth and raised in semi-isolation. Other individuals can be seen and heard, but there is no physical contact, no interaction. Mother is a bit of plastic and shaggy cloth, a doll with no life of its own, but capable of nourishing the life of an infant. The monkey will come to depend upon this doll to satisfy basic necessities of life. Not only nourishment, but a deeper psychological need for comfort and security. In primate infants, there is an instinctive need to cling to another body, soft and warm. Food or security? Which is motherhood's stronger appeal? Alongside a warm, familiar mother of cloth is a stark wire doll set up as nothing more than a feeding machine.
See the monkey scared.
The young monkey is placed deliberately on a cloth mother which has no milk to nourish him, but fulfills some fundamental needs. This experiment revolves around one simple question. Will the infant monkey switch his affection to a wire mother which offers food and life itself? Only when forced by hunger does he loosen his grip and begin to yield to nature's most powerful internal drive. From the wire mother he derives one thing, nourishment. No warmth, no comfort, no feeling of security. After feeding, he returns to spend up to 22 hours a day near the only mother he knows. From this inanimate object, the infant derives all the security and mother love he needs. He can, if also exposed early to other young, grow into a normal, well-adjusted adult.
Okay, here's a question. How would the behavioral psychologist explain why an infant forms attachments? Right? How would a behavioral psychologist, remember the behaviorist approach suggests that we learn all of our things, we learn everything that makes us who we are. We're born as a blank slate, tabula rasa, and everything, all of your experiences and everything you do makes you who you are. So how would a behavioral psychologist explain why an infant forms attachments, and explain why Harlow's study undermines the behaviorist explanation of attachment? Right, give yourself 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, up to you. Answer those two questions. Give that a go now, please. Right, well, let's crack on with the answers. How would the behavioral psychologist explain why an infant forms an attachment? The behaviorist theory assumes that infant attaches because it learns to associate the carer with food through classical conditioning, okay? Classical conditioning. You associate the mother with food. However, Harlow's study showed that infant rhesus monkeys chose to attach to the cloth mother, in other words, for contact comfort, rather than to a caregiver that provides food. And this is contradictory to what we thought. This research contradicts what we thought we understood in psychology. We thought, well, who do babies form attachments to? The mothers. Okay, so why do they form attachments to their mothers? Well, they got those breasts. They're feeding the babies. They must have formed the attachment because they're the one that feeds them. That makes sense. Babies like food. Therefore, they learn to like the mother through association. Baby likes food. Food comes when mother's there. Those two are being paired together. So now baby likes mother, right? And this research contradicted that idea, right? It contradicted that we form associations with the mother because of food. And actually, it wasn't because of that. And what this research found was it's more to do with the contact comfort, all right? Feeling comfortable, feeling that love. The love is what's important for attachment. And that's Harlow's research. Identify one thing you learned from Harlow's 1959 research. Why do you think learning about Harlow's research is important? How does Harlow's research apply in real life? Who is this information useful to? Okay? Do you think this research was ethically okay to do? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Now that we've done it, what type of information do you think we can extrapolate from it? Was it useful? Right, that's part of Harlow's research that we've learnt about. Okay, show comprehension, apply knowledge of Harlow's research. Huzzah! Tick it off. Done. We're moving on to the next one, okay? Identify and analyze maternally deprived monkeys as adults. Let's have a look at that one. Right. Harlow and colleagues also followed the monkeys who had been deprived of a real mother into adulthood to see if this early maternal deprivation had a permanent effect. Maternal deprivation. Maternal means mother, and deprivation means to go without something. So maternal deprivation means to go without the mother. Let's see what happened to these monkeys, these rhesus monkeys that were deprived of a mother. They went without a real mother and they had these wire or cloth substitute mothers. The researcher found severe consequences. The monkeys reared with wire mothers only were the most dysfunctional. However, even those reared with a soft toy as a substitute did not develop normal social behaviors. This is what happened with these monkeys that were maternally deprived. The maternally deprived monkeys were more aggressive, less sociable than other monkeys, and they bred less often than is typical for monkeys, being unskilled at mating. They weren't able to mate particularly successfully. As mothers, some of the deprived monkeys neglected their young and others attacked their children, even killing them in some cases. Because they grew up without a mother, they didn't know how to be mothers themselves. When they had children themselves, they attacked them and killed them because they literally didn't know how to be a mother because they never grew up with one. Now, you could argue this is just monkeys. This isn't generalized to humans, right? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but nonetheless, this is interesting, right? Those monkeys that were deprived of a mother, more aggressive, less sociable, bred less often, and attacked their young. Would we find similar aspects in humans? Maybe, maybe not. Who's to say? The point is, you can't do that type of research on children. You can't deprive a child of a mother because it would be what? Yes, unethical. Good. I mean, arguably, this is unethical, and it's only done with monkeys. Some people that, believe in animal rights, they'll say, well, regardless if it's a human or a monkey or anything, you shouldn't be doing this. Some people will say, well, yes, it's not nice, but, these monkeys are long gone, and this research has stayed with us and helped us with our understanding of attachment. So, is it worth it? Some people argue yes, some people argue no. The monkeys developed into emotionally disturbed adults when they grew up. They didn't know how to socialize with other monkeys and rejected their own infants, which displays psychological harm. However, the research had an important influence on our understanding of infant emotional development. We had a look at this critical period last lesson for Lorenz's research, and with the geese, he found that the critical period was around a few hours after hatching. If imprinting didn't happen within that time, it would never happen. Like Lorenz, Harlow concluded that there was a critical period for this behavior as well. The mother figure had to be introduced to an infant monkey within 90 days for an attachment to form. After this time, attachment was impossible and the damage done by early deprivation became irreversible. So, if a monkey hasn't formed an attachment with a mother figure or mother substitute before 90 days, the monkey will never be able to form an attachment. That is the critical period found by Harlow in this research. Right, here are some further footage of Harlow's research. What are some of the ethical issues of this research? Does the importance of the findings outweigh the harm to the monkeys? Also, have a look at the guy who describes this monkey scaring device. Bear in mind, in someone's research, it was their job to make a monkey scaring device. And then the guy that's interviewing Harlow, he goes, "It's diabolical." Watch out for that, it's hilarious.
Let me show you a monkey raised on a nursing wire mother. Now here are 106's two mothers. As you can see, it was weaned on a wire mother. Here's baby 106. Watch. He's going to the wire mother. He's got to eat to live. Going back. He's back on the cloth mother, and he'll stay on the cloth mother. Actually, this baby spends from 17 to 18 hours a day on the cloth mother, and less than 1 hour a day on the wire mother. We had predicted that the variable of contact comfort would be a variable of measurable importance, but we were unprepared to find that it completely overwhelmed and overshadowed all other variables, including those of nursing.
Frankly, Doctor, if it comes to a choice between wire and cloth, it's reasonable to expect that any child will go to the cloth. It's a matter of creature comfort, like a baby with its blanket. But is this really love?
Well, what do you mean by saying that a baby loves its mother? Certainly one thing we mean is that it gets a great feeling of security in the presence of the mother. Now, Mr. Collingwood, wouldn't you say that if you frightened a baby, that it went running to its mother, was comforted, and then all the fear disappeared and was replaced by a complete sense of security that that baby loved its mother? Now, in this experiment, this is the apparatus we use.
That looks diabolical.
That's just the way the baby monkey feels about it. Flashing eyes, loud sound, moving mechanical parts, all of these things are designed to frighten a monkey. Now here we have a peaceful, resting baby monkey. Let's find out what his reactions to his mother are when we frighten him.
He's scared, all right.
And he does what any child will do in a similar situation.
He runs away.
It's more than running away. He was running to his mother, to touch her, to drive away his fear. Contact with the mother changes his entire personality. Look, now he's actually threatening the diabolical object. All right. This gives us part of the picture of the strength of infantile love.
Right, okay. So you could see there, in that example, they operationalized attachment by scaring the monkey and seeing which one the monkey would run to and seek comfort from. And that's how they operationalized whether an attachment was formed or not. Okay? Here's an application question, okay? AO2, application. Let's apply our knowledge to a scenario. Poppy's rescue. Spike is a zookeeper who specializes in the care of monkeys. He has just been asked by the police to take charge of a 45-day-old orphan monkey called Poppy, who was rescued from a home where she was kept alone in a cage with a soft towel. When Spike first meets the baby monkey, Poppy clings to the towel and screams in fear when she sees she is in a new environment. The police ask Spike what would have been the effect on Poppy had she not been rescued and what sort of future she can look forward to at the zoo. 2 questions. Based on Harlow's research, how would Poppy's social development have probably turned out if she had not been rescued? And then 2, referring to Harlow's research, suggest how Spike should proceed with Poppy. How good are her chances of healthy development? 5 minutes, answer those 2 questions, give that a go, and I'll go through the answers now. Right. Based on Harlow's research, how would Poppy's social development have probably turned out if she had not been rescued? Well, had Poppy remained in the cage alone without just the flannel for comfort, she would probably not have developed normally. Harlow found that monkeys raised with cloth mothers usually survived and were less dysfunctional than those raised with a wire mother. However, they did not develop normally and lacked social skills as adults. Based on Harlow's findings, Poppy would probably have survived if not rescued, but would probably find it difficult to interact with other monkeys. In particular, she would find it hard to mate and would probably not be a successful parent, according to the research that was found by Harlow. Referring to Harlow's research suggests how Spike should proceed with Poppy. How good are her chances of healthy development? In this answer, you should have referred to the critical period, right? There was a specific time period that Harlow found that there was a critical period. And Poppy, how old was she? Poppy is only 45 days old. And the critical period for monkeys' attachment is longer than this. It's around 90 days. So there is a good chance of her forming an attachment and developing normally as long as she can find a mother figure. Spike, the zookeeper, should therefore probably introduce Poppy to a suitable adult monkey as soon as possible. And that's maternally deprived monkeys as adults. Identify one thing you learned about maternally deprived monkeys. Why do you think learning about this is important? You know, it gives us a better understanding of what happens if potentially a human was maternally deprived. How does maternally deprived monkeys as adults apply in real life? Well, there are orphans. There are people that do grow up without parents. You know, what happens to them? Is there any similarities here? And who is this information useful to? Well, probably people that run orphanages or set people up with new parents. Right, that's learning objective 2 done. LO2, identify and analyze maternally deprived monkeys as adults. Tick. Moving on to learning objective 3, to be able to discuss and evaluate Harlow's 1959 research. Evaluation. AO3, evaluation. What are some of the strengths and limitations of Harlow's research? Right. Better understanding of attachment. Harlow's findings have had a profound effect on psychologists' understanding of human mother-infant attachment. Most importantly, Harlow showed that attachment does not develop as the result of being fed by a mother figure, but as a result of contact comfort. Harlow also showed us the importance of the quality of early relationships for later social development, including the ability to hold down adult relationships and successfully rear children. Okay? One strength of Harlow's research is that it gives us a better understanding of attachment. Furthermore, there are real-world applications for social workers, right? This can help out social workers. The insight into attachment from Harlow's research has had important applications in a range of practical contexts. For example, it has helped social workers understand risk factors in child neglect and child abuse, and so intervene to prevent it. And that's according to Howe's research in 1998. Of course, these findings are also important in the care of captive monkeys. We now understand the importance of proper attachment figures for baby monkeys in zoos and also in breeding programs in the wild. So, this gives us real-world application. Yes, for humans as well, you know, we can get a better understanding of neglect, those that are neglected, those that are maternally deprived, and what happens for them. It gives us information for social workers. But then, it does also help us with monkeys themselves. If we were to run a zoo or run a breeding program and something was to happen to the mother of the monkey, we know, okay, well, there's a 90-day critical period in which it's important that we find a substitute mother. Otherwise, there will be complications. They will be emotionally disturbed later on in life. That being said, there are ethical issues with this research. Harlow faced criticism for the ethics of his research. The monkeys suffered greatly as a result of Harlow's procedures. This species of rhesus monkeys is considered similar enough to humans to be able to generalize the findings, which also means that their suffering was presumably quite human-like. Harlow himself was well aware of the suffering he caused. Harlow referred to the wire mothers as Iron Maidens after a medieval torture device, not the band. The counter-argument is that Harlow's research was sufficiently important to justify the effects. What do you think? Do you think the findings justify the suffering? You know, this is a really important piece of research. You could argue these monkeys are long gone and we've still got this research and it's still helping our understanding. But other people are saying no, regardless of the findings, it doesn't justify the suffering that these monkeys had to face. And that really depends on where you land on the whole animal research. So there are ethical issues. Furthermore, you could argue one further limitation is there's issues with generalizability. Okay, can I generalize findings from animals, even monkeys, to humans? You could argue monkeys are similar to humans, however their brain is much less complex than a human brain, so maybe it's still not generalizable even though we do share a lot of DNA. Right, evaluation tasks. Summarize each evaluative point into exactly 10 words. So if I was to give it a go with one of them off the cuff, let's do the ethical issues one. A weakness of Harlow's research is ethical issues concerning monkeys. There we go, 10 words. I'm sure you can do better than that. Challenge. Can you think of any further criticisms of your own using the Grave and Scout technique? If you're not sure what that is, go to the front of your booklets, check it out. And that's the evaluation. LO3. To be able to discuss and evaluate Harlow's research. Yes, we've done it. We're moving on. Plenary. I've got some multiple choice questions for you. Animal studies. What is the phenomenon in which early contact comfort influences mate preference called? A. Imprinting. B. Contact comfort. C. Deprivation. D. Sexual imprinting. It was from last lesson. It was sexual imprinting. It was the research that was done with Lorenz. Number 2, which of these behaviours describes Harlow's monkeys that were maternally deprived? Were they A. Aggressive, B. Sociable, C. Socially skilled, D. Good parents? Which one do you reckon? The answer was A, aggressive. Number 3, in which condition were Harlow's monkeys most damaged by early experience? A, biological mother from birth. B, wire mother from birth. C, cloth mother from birth. D, biological mother from 2 months. Pardon? Which one? Say it out loud. A, B, C, or D? Actually say it. B. Correct. Well done. Wire mother from birth. Which of these is an argument for animal attachment research? A, clear application to humans. B, they form emotional attachments like humans. C, ethics of animal suffering. D, replication of findings. Which one? A, B, C, or D? It was A, clear application to humans, arguably. And there we go. How many of the questions did you get out of 4? Are you an absolute legend? If you want some more support, feel free to click on the link for the video from the PowerPoint. You lot have got it, and it should give you a bit more support for that. That was Lesson 5, Animal Studies, with Harlow's research in 1959. Next lesson is Lesson 6, Learning Theory of Attachment. Right, well done, my neo-psychologists. Good work today. I'm proud of you all. God bless. I've been Mr. Neo, and peace.
I'm feeling like Will, I feel like a prince, I'm feeling myself. I'm loaded with bills, cause I wasn't blessed with no Uncle Phil. Don't know how it feels, I wanted to flex, they told me to chill. I'm making a flip, my life is a flick, now load up the film.